racing. Show us your tips. Dag and Beaver with you for the first Group 1 meeting of the new racing season. Winx Stakes Day from Randwick, as well as a look towards Mooney Valley. Beaver, how are you travelling?
Travelling okay, mate. Can't complain. Weather's good, life's good, and here for another show.
Beauty. Looks like a good card, good betting cards at both meetings, actually.
Yeah, good betting cards, some tricky races, but some good horses coming back as well. So nice to be getting into that time of year.
Definitely, always easy to do the form on days like this. We'll get started at Randwick, where the rail is in the 3 metre mark for Winx Stakes Day. Currently a bit of rain forecast tomorrow. It's currently a soft 6 as well. I think it stays about that range, maybe slightly better. Should be, last time I was there, it was pretty fair. Maybe running line by the end of the day, but back at the last meeting, a few horses are able to come through the inside as well. Not quite on rails, but back towards the inside. So hoping it plays fair for all for the most part. We kick off with the 1100 metre highway, where I haven't spent a great deal on this one. Have you looked at this?
Look, I did do a little bit of form on this. It was a pretty tricky race. I went away from the two favoured two in the market purely because they're drawn in the car park in gates 15 and 16. And I just thought a horse like Optimo, who's been very consistent of recent times, Nash on board around the $7 mark, it's never far from the money, could run well. So I thought I would have hit getting the sitting shot just behind the pace.
Beautiful. I said, didn't spend a great deal of time on it. Participated took my eye there, but we'll get on to the second. Actually, horse that trialled against Participator, Kelvedon Road, trialled very well against it, and it's at Canberra tomorrow. I've just seen, so slightly different one there, but we might get a bit of early cash for the weekend tomorrow. Anyway, that's beside the point as we head to the staying race on the contest, 2400 metre benchmark 78. As it stands, a few of these are in at Moonee Valley as well. Monte Felicity was an absolute tragedy last time, Beaver. Are you backing up here?
Yeah, as you know, last weekend I was filthy. I was on Monte Felicity and got about this, was playing about the $8 mark and was jog trotting, couldn't get a run, awful ride. Tom Sherry, good to see he is off and Pike on. Hopefully, the extra distance suits, and I think this is a good price.
That all being said, I'm going for So United. Keen here. It has had the 2400 metre run. It just got nabbed by Cadre du Noir late, beat the rest of the field by a gap. Has ticked the 2400 metre box, which I like, into the prep, and sets up here with not a lot of pace. Monte Felicity is obviously the danger there. If it handles the big step up in trip, which it's covered okay at lower grade last time. And the two Melbourne horses I sort of thought I would go looking for, but I didn't really find them. I don't quite have an opinion. I think Impulse is the best of them.
I think Impulse is a good chance too.
But I don't generally find packing them synthetic into Randwick a lot. Probably keen on if it stays in Melbourne, but I'm pretty keen So United is here to run well. Race 3 is the Midway at benchmark 72 over the mile. Big field again. I'm going to stick with Bazooka. J-Mac sticks with it as well. Trotted in last time. Dropped back in distance here. Probably not the worst thing for the David Payne stable once we get into this part of the prep. And just sticking with the track and distance track set up here to come through again at the price. My Truth was a big price winner at Canterbury. It was impressive. That was a wet and is complete different form to this, so maybe is the obvious danger. Who do you find here?
Yeah, I thought Bazooka looked probably the pick of them here, hard to beat. Its last start win was pretty impressive, and that lines up pretty well here, albeit it does go up 3 kilos in weight. So I thought it was probably the hardest to beat, but I did like Bella Violet around the $12 mark from the Thompson stable with Hugh Bowman aboard. I thought the first up run was good, got back in the field and finished off quite nicely at Kembla over the 1400. I think it'll be further improved by that, and had some nice trials before that run, and went out last preparation with a nice win at Hawkesbury over the mile. So I think it can run well.
Beautiful. Race 4, benchmark 78 over the mile. What have you made of this field here?
Yeah, really tricky field, this one, and a really hard affair. Look, I wasn't overly keen, but if I was looking to have a bet, I'd probably go Casino Kid.
Mm.
Thought it won well last start. Finished off quite nicely and is third up here. First up wasn't bad, in a decent race, and then really good last start. So based off that, just thought it could continue to improve and might be hardest to beat.
Yeah, I thought the same. Narrated came out and ran today at Hawkesbury. So with that all in mind, I think Casino Kid is the winner here. Not interested in Niffler anymore, and not interested. I thought Bold Mac was slugged around a bit last time, so sticking there. And Caesar's Palace might get an easy lead with the other pace coming out, as I said, in Silent Agenda and Narrated, so it might be a nice place chance. But yeah, I think Casino Kid's a decent bet here at the price, especially.
Hmm.
Race 5. Now we get into the good stuff on the card is the Group 3 1200 metre toy show quality, where I started out not wanting anything to do with King of Sparta. I know it gets Nash, which is a little bit scary, but I just have never been able to catch the horse, so I just shrugged my shoulders and said it can't win. I'll cop it on chin when it does. And ended up that left me with 2 horses. Showmanship, I know it's had 1 run in 2 years, but it wasn't a bad run. It trialled well enough coming down here. Gets J Mac inside gate, so should be close enough. And I thought the other chance was Electric Girl, who first up last time, matched motors with Snap Dancer, who would probably bolt in this race. And then went and took an Anavisto and was pretty good both times. Trial's good and is $10. I'm pretty keen they're 2 good chances here. After that, I started looking at chat and decided that was the end of the race for me. So 2 chances, 6 from 5. Beaver, yourself?
No, I stuck with King of Sparta here. Not sure if the 6 will run in Sydney or Melbourne.
That's true as well.
If the 6 doesn't run here, the 2 looks special to me. I've kind of put a line through last run down the straight. I just don't think it handled it. It's got a bit high in its action, didn't settle as well as it could have, and
it was
still
never
ran okay.
It never was going to win that race. You could tell after.
Yeah, it just didn't. It just didn't. It just didn't. I'm not sure it liked going down the straight. So it gets back around the bend here, and the way it won first up at Caulfield, I thought that was pretty good. And does race well here in Sydney this way of going. So I think it is set up and should run extremely well.
Does it need? Maybe it's just a horse that needs genuine pace to run its best. End up straight.
Yeah, I think. Really yeah. I don't think that's. I just don't think it handled the straight.
Yeah, fair call.
Got a bit cluttered up
and was beaten by a proper straight horse.
Yeah.
The Premier's Cup is race 6 for the Stayers, 2,000 metres. Again, I think there's only 2 hopes here that I'm keen to play. Lord Ardmore is flying, gets a great run again here. A couple of the key rivals like Skyman, who went to Hawkesbury and won today, come out, and I think it just gets everything in its favour. And I think the danger is Too Much to Bear, who is building nicely into this prep. 2,000 suits, unbeaten at the track, and should get a really good run here just behind Grove Fairy and the like. So you can back them both, and that's what I'll be doing. What were you doing?
Yeah, look, it was hard to go past Lord Ardmore. Just keeps winning, beat all of these last starts, and given that, you probably just got to stick with it. I think it's drawn 5 again, and had the right run last start, but I see it getting the same run again here, and it's going to be really hard to go past. So I just had Lord Ardmore on top. I did think Yee put in a much better run last start, and finished off nicely, coming from back in the field. So I think he could probably, if it's improved from that, be the knockout chance.
The quaddie kicks off with a toy show quality for the girls, a Group 3 over the 1,100 metres. Last year's winner for Tus is here. and we get a bit of Queensland form too with Boom Nova, who you've got a nice feel on. Who do you like here, though?
Good race, hey?
Yeah, ripper.
Plenty of chances here. There's 7 or 8 in the market that I think could win this race. Um, I'd feel better if I knew whether Bella Nipotina was running here or
Yeah,
in Melbourne.
yeah.
That would certainly shed a bit more light on this race for me. I got down to Bella Nipotina and Jamia. Thought both of those looked super hard to beat, and you can back both of them. Jamia resuming here, has won first up before, had a nice trial behind Zapateo. But I just thought it might get the right run in transit here, and fresh, harder to beat. Zapateo, I think, is quite a good horse, consistent horse. I just wasn't comfortable with the jockey, so I went for Jamia. Bella Nipotina's got J-Mac, does carry the 59, but is probably the best horse in the race. And I thought another one, resuming Smirnova, could run well from the Hawks stable. So they were sort of the 3 I was looking at.
Yeah, I'm much keener at Bella Nipotina being here than I don't like it particularly down at the Valley. I think it's a real good chance here. You mentioned booking of J-Max, so I'm hoping that's a bit of a sign of intent. Trial was good leading here and comes through the 2. Last time it was here, won well, and then went to a couple of Adelaide Group 1s, and I just think it fits in really well in this race, as does Boom Nova. Nice horse, did some good stuff through winter, and will show enough pace to be competitive here. Beyond that, Smirnova's trial we mentioned last week, and Zapateo. I think, but a wide leg of the quaddy Jamie is a real chance for Toos. Has struggled on wet tracks for almost a year, so may find something back onto dry. And Volpine isn't without a chance. So deep race, but I'm hoping Bella runs in Sydney. Group 1 Winx Stakes is a weight for age over the 1400 metres, where we get last year's winner Moanga tops the field. It's been won by Winx 3 times and Very Elegant in the last few years. Some good horses kicking off their spring campaigns, Beaver. How are you going to line them up?
Yeah, some really nice races. Really keen to see these horses go around. I was a bit disappointed with Forbidden Love first up. So I'm probably going to leave it out until I just see it reproduce the form from last preparation and get a guide on that. Anamoe I have put on top. Just think super quality horse, goes well enough fresh. In the 1400, I think it'll be wound up enough to run well. Got the inside gate, super hard to beat. And Moanga, it goes fantastic first up. It's never been out of the placing in its 5 starts, so I don't think you can leave it out. So I did have Anamoe on top, but Moanga is the main danger.
Anamoe on top for me as well. Good horse, should have won a Cox Plate, and trials are great. Comes here, gets a lovely run. Gate 1 will just be right on the back of Forbidden Love. I think they're the only 2 hopes. I know you're saying about Forbidden Love, but did get stretched, and I don't think the pace suited it there necessarily first up and wide. I think it gets a complete control of this race, and if it's a jiggy jog, I've got it as a main danger. It might have sole lead here, and it did pick up a few Group 1s last prep doing that. Moanga, I didn't like the trials. I really wanted to find it, but I wasn't overly sold on them. And I did like the trials of Profondo, who might be back. So, but Anamoe on top and keen from Forbidden Love from a pace point of view in the first Group 1 of the spring. The Silver Shadow Stakes over the 1200 metres for the fillies is a 3-year-old fillies is up next. And talk about races, Beaver. This is another cracker. How are we going to split these up? I am going to spec a few here. I would have liked Willinger Beast drawn out. I think it's a good horse. I think has trialled well and gets Bowman. Gate 1 has me scared in a big field. And I want to spec a couple at big price here. Say Seven Veils has trialled well and did some okay stuff first prep. And Snickcat, same thing. Trials have been good and it's $23. We're going to get a running line in a big field at Randwick. So Keen to play with a couple of them. A couple of interesting Kiwi horses kicking off here as well, and there's more chances after that. And we don't know how good In Secret is, but just at those prices, they're the ones I'm looking to play here. Beaver, what have you made of this field?
Yeah, I was a bit the same. I found it hard to go past In Secret. I think looks like it's a quality horse, but I did look for some value here and to have some bets around it. I landed on Revolutionary Miss around the $10 mark. I thought its trials were impressive enough, and then I think some of its runs last preparation were pretty good down at Caulfield. On the Group 2 down there, then unluckily beaten second at Caulfield before it came back and ran in the slipper. And got way out of its ground there and just gave Fireburn way too big a start. I think it can run well here fresh, and I think around the $10 mark it presents nicely from the Snowden stable within Secret. And you're right, I've got a bit of a watch on Wolverine, the New Zealander coming over.
The racing, it ran well over there. I didn't know what to make of those trials, but they, but I guess we'll find out. It was a horse I did have an opinion of, but anyway, good race. Anything else on that one?
That's it for me.
We wrapped the day up with a 1200 metre 78. Help me out here.
Yeah, interesting race to finish the day, isn't it? I actually went for for a bit of value here, and I come up with the number 6, Joe Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I quite liked its last run. Got way back and finished off nicely, beaten by Meg, which was a long odds in the market. Gets a little bit of weight relief on that. And I just thought it was really not given much of a chance last start. Gate 4 here is drawn much better. It's got Tommy Berry aboard. It had J-Mac last time, so probably that doesn't point, and J-Mac's gone to Zoroastro. But I just thought Joe Lee could run really well in this race and give quite a bold sight. And I thought Arbitration might be hard to beat again as well. Just keeps running well and keeps on improving. So I think probably look at both of those.
Yeah, tricky race. I struggled to want to stamp anything. For the sake of a tip, I might go Mayrose from Bizarro, but very wide last leg of the quaddie here. To wrap up the day at Randwick. We need to find a quaddie, though, at Randwick. So for the first Group 1 meet of the year, quaddie numbers in Sydney, I'll go with 1 Bella Nipotina, 3 Fatus, 4 Volpine, 5 Jamea, 9 Boom Nova, 10 Zapateo, and 13 Smirnova. Second leg, I'm just going to go with 3 Anamoe, 4 Profondo, and 8 Forbidden Love. Third leg, 3 7 Veils, 5 Willinga Beast, 6 Russian Conquest, 7 In Secret, 8 Snitz Cat, 12 North Star Lad, and 13 Zugotcha. And we'll come home with 3 Pizarro, 5 Zoroastro, 7 Mayrose, 13 Arbitration. A wide one, but hopefully we can find a little bit of value there. Do you have some value there, Beaver, and a best for progretracing.com.au?
Yeah, my best comes up in race 5, number 2, King of Sparta. And my value bet, I thought you might like that. And my value bet comes up in race 10, number 6, Joe Lee.
I'm going to make
$9, $10 mark.
Lovely. I'm going to make So United my best in the staying race. I think it's there to run well. Bella Nipotina is my value if she's here, and I think beyond that, Snit Cat at 20s is another one I'll call value for the day. We head down to Moonee Valley for another decent lead-up card here with the rail going to the 5 metre mark, soft track. I don't want to be too far from the rail, I'm starting to think there once we start getting out past the 5 metre mark, but we'll monitor that throughout the afternoon as we kick off with a 1200 metre race for the 3-year-old fillies. Beaver, how are we starting today?
Yeah, this was a tricky little affair here with the 3-year-old fillies here. I'm going for Varvea
Hmm.
from the Cummings stable. I really liked its first up run at Moonee Valley. Got back, but finished off and hit the line really, really hard. Ran on strongly there. I think the step up to 1200 now from the 955 suits. Gate 7's fine. Got it on top to run best.
Yeah, I agree. I had it on top as well. 1200 metre suits. You've covered the reasons quite well. I think it can start the day with giving us a nice sight. I thought Do It La was over the top. Might get a nice run close to the pace here, and is the best part of what, 17 or 18 bucks. So they're the couple I'll play in the first. The second is another 3-year-old race for this time out to 1500 metres, where I'm thinking Blake Shin can return to Melbourne with a winner in Proscenium Arch. It was very good chasing a good horse last time. Does have the option to roll forward like it did on debut. I think it can sit a bit close and did last time chasing Berkeley Square. Should a mile should suit being at it, so you think, or 1500 should suit, and I think this sets up really well for it from the horse at Match Motors with Castilian, and we'll keep an eye on the half to Elephant down there, final overture, the other Kiwi bred there. But Proscenium Arch, I think, is a nice bet here.
Yeah, I thought the same. I thought it was a nice bet here too. A lot to like about last run. Chased home a good horse and gave it a good start and didn't shirk its task. Look, gets into this race nicely. Gate 2 is perfect, so I think he can sit a little bit closer onto the pace and win this race.
Race 3 is the 1500 metre for the 4-year-old and up, where well, Forgot You's been one of our favourites all the way through, and it comes here, and I just thought it'd feel like I don't want to touch it here. What did you make of this race?
You know what? I looked at that and thought, do I want to touch it? And then I went through this race and I thought, this might set up really nicely for Forgot You. There's a lot of pace in this race. Lakeen's favourite, and it won last start, but it had everything go its favour in the race and only beat Chief Altony, who, look, Jimmy the Bear killed it last start. So I think it might have been flattered a bit, Lakeen, last start. I don't know where it gets to the run here because you've got a lot of horses that like to go forward here. Cyclone Sally's probably going to go forward. You've got Kiss Me If You Can is going to go forward. Desert Icon may even go forward. I don't know.
Shot of Irish as well.
About that.
Goes forward.
And Shot of Irish is definitely. So you're going to have 3 horses here that go forward. So that may just make sure that the pace is on for Forgot You. And based off that, I'm going to stick with it. It's a horse that I do like, and most of the others I'm not overly keen on. So just hoping there's pace on and it can get the right run at the right time and get off the fence and run over him.
Oh, its best runs have been here, and by the time we get to race day, it may well end up being my bet.
Hasn't lost here.
And that's
2 out of 2
exactly
over
right.
the distance track and 3 out of 3.
Scared of gate 1, like I said. I think it needs to get out and wind up. And last prep, I just felt it was always looking for further sort of runs. I'm just a bit worried getting cluttered up. So I was actually going to stick with Lakeen on the back of that pace. The 3 pace should set up nicely for it to just lob in straight behind him, and Craig Williams just pull out at the top of the straight and win again from Rousseau, who is $14. I know it hasn't won under 2,000 metres, but really good trial at Flemington. Heading here, Jamie Carr on, and it was flying last prep. I think it's a sneaky value play, and very interested to see how Forgot You does stack up here, but just got the inkling to take it on here against my better judgment. Perhaps the 2,500 metres is race 4, a benchmark 78, where 3 of the field are also nominated in Sydney. But I am going to go away from all of those and stick with Farrago. Loved its win last time, was dominant, big, strong through the line, and now ticks a 20. Well, has been flying all prep, and I think it's going to do exactly the same thing here. I like the $4 you're probably going to get, and I didn't even think much further beyond that. So just going to back up again after getting it at a nice price last time, Beaver. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm going the same way. I think last two starts before where it finished second and third, I was on and got disappointed, and I jumped off last start, and it was dominant. I went for Rudia last start, and just Farrago just got the right run there. It was perfectly ridden, to be brutally honest. It was a very good ride by Williams. The sticks here, gate 6 looks to get the right run again here, and it should just track into the race here. And I'm quite surprised by the $4. Given that it beat these horses quite comfortably last start, I thought you'd be getting closer to 320.
Yeah, these should be if these Mar Eustace horses come out low, that price will go into the favourite. So,
Yes.
But we'll watch that. Cracker is race 5, a 1,200 metre listed race for the 3-year-old boys. What are you doing here with these resumers?
Yeah, I'm super keen on the fave. Vegeta Sun.
Mm-hmm.
Vegeta Sun. Yeah, I think this is a quality horse here. Ran second in its first start at Moonee Valley, which was a nice run, and then come out of shorty at Sandown and absolutely brained them. Wasn't really tested too much in the trial Warwick Farm, but Hawks has taken this to Melbourne. That's a good sign for me. Gate 3, John McNeil aboard. I think he's got a good one here.
Beauty. I am going to, though, have an each-way play on Crosswinds, who's already a listed winner here. Chased well, sustained a nice run. Last time I was at Mooney Valley, and I think can do similar here with Mark Zara on Vegeta San. I'm just waiting to see some guts to that form, but yeah, might be a very good horse. And let's roll the dice back away from the bogs in Sydney. Will run well again, but yeah, 3-5-1 my numbers in race 5. First leg in the quaddie is a benchmark 78 over the mile. I got about 10 minutes into doing a form in this race and wanted to lie down and cry. So I have no idea here, Beaver. Do you have anything you want to back?
Mate, I kind of had the same tears. If I was going to have a bet, I went for the each way value in Global Gift.
Yeah.
Thought it led him up at Sandown and kicked strongly. Thought that was a good run. Gets in here with a bit of a claim with Opperman. So, okay, way to gate 2. I think it might go to the front again, and I'm just hoping that it's just a little bit tougher than the rest of them.
Cool. For the sake of a tip from me, I'll just say, do you reckon might win again? But I won't be betting in that race. You can have the honours of telling me my quaddie numbers later on. The 2,040 metre...
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Quality handicap is race 7. A bit keener here. I really like the Australian debut of Gold Trip. Perhaps flattered a little being the right part of the track, but hit the line beautifully behind Crosstalk. Comes here, and if they're talking this up for better stuff, it should win this race. Mark Zara goes on. I think interpretation only got going late last time on Australian debut. It'll be better for the run. Maybe a run early. Might want 2,400 metres by now. But they're the two I'm going to start with. And Predeturn was okay first up. 4-year-old here and hit the ground nicely. But fairly keen on Gold Trip. So that's the way I'm going to play the race. What have you done?
Yeah, I actually found that exactly the same 3 horses as yourself, but I put interpretation on top.
Mm-hmm.
I just liked, I liked the price, and I just liked that it. I think there just might be that natural improvement there. I thought its run behind He's a Shocker was pretty good, and Gold Trip's got to give it 6 kilos, and so just specking that it might improve enough to run really well in this, and so I had it on top over Gold Trip, and I thought you're right, Predeturn. Also, I think it can run really well. Ran a nice race behind Jimmy the Bear last start, and had some good form when last in work.
Race 8 is the Carlyon Stakes over the 1,000 metres, a listed race again, where I went looking for the 1,000 metre horses here. Generation 1 well here first up last prep. Drawn to get a nice run here behind a bit of pace. And on top from me, from Esther La Rocca, the genuine 1,000-metre horse in the race in double figures. And obviously terrified of Extremely Lucky, who may well win this by a space. We don't know quite how good he is, but just sticking with Generation here. What have you done?
I did the same. I went for Generation first up here, has great first up form, goes well at the track.
Trial's good.
And trial was really good. Beat away game. We know it's got genuine speed. It'll come out running. And Extremely Lucky is going to have to give it a start at Moonee Valley. Don't know the tighter turning track, whether that will suit it. Did get right back in there. And it's just really hard to get a line in the form of it, to be honest. Beat Colour Dream. What's Colour Dream? And prior to that was benchmark 72. That it won in Adelaide. So
yeah.
Just probably a little bit of a watch at the moment. I'd want to watch the market, and if there's obviously already a couple of scratchings, so Generation comes in here. It's a tough horse.
Beauty. I like when we find horses like that at the price. Race 9, though. What have you found here over the 1,200 metres? A benchmark 84.
Yeah, tricky way to finish the day. I've landed on 63. It's going well at the moment. Last start at Flemington was second behind a pretty good horse, I think, a real straight track specialist, Veronescova. And it finished off really nicely. I think that was a really good run for this. And prior to that, trialled well at Mildura.
You worried
I
about
think
the
it can
gate?
run really well here.
Where it gets to?
No, I think it can hunt up enough and not be too far off them.
Cool. Yeah.
Just
That was my
got
concern.
it was my little bit of concern, but that's probably why you're getting the $5. They'll probably run along a little bit here. So I had it on top. Main danger, Chartres, could run well, drawn well.
Cool. I don't quite trust the Garden enough to want to dive into it, and the trials were fair. Did go out to when it gets melon, but I think I want longer. I might end up having, if swoopers are the play here, Sessions Road will be on top. Nice win resuming, and just might set up for a nice slingshot down the outside if we are making ground. If not, I don't know how much I want to be involved with this race. If the rail's on, to be honest, because I think some of the better horses are either drawn wide or don't quite have the pace to match up there. So maybe a trick shot there, but if we're running on Sessions Road, the Garden, and 6B66, as you've mentioned, I think are the main chances here. Do you want to outline your main chances as we go through the quadrella?
Yes, the quaddie for Saturday at Moonee Valley. I've got a tricky little affair, this.
Yeah.
First leg, I'm going to go numbers 1, 2, 3, 7, and 10.
Mm-hmm.
The second leg, I'm going to go number 1, Gold Trip, number 2, Mancayan, number 3, Interpretation, and number 10, Predeterm.
Yep.
In the fourth leg, I'm going to go, this is hard, not knowing what's going to start.
Yeah.
I'm going to go number 2, Generation, number 4, Extremely Lucky, number 5, Bella Nipotina, number 9, Showmanship. But if any of those are taken out, happy to throw in the 11, Esther La Rocca.
Lovely.
And to finish the day, looking a little bit wider here, I'm going number 2, Sacred Palace, number 3, Exeter, number 10, Chartres, number 11, 6B63.
Beautiful. Good job. For progroupracing.com.au, check them out and sign up for their mailing list heading into Spring Carnival. Lots of news going on there and some other stuff on the way. I'm going to make my best. I'm going to make it Gold Trip in race number 7, but I'm pretty keen Lakeen runs well, and I'm pretty keen Farrago is very hard to beat. So I'll be playing around those 3 as the best results on the day. And my value, I'm going to make it Generation in the sprint. Beaver.
Yeah, I had Generation in the sprint as well as my value bet. I think it can run really well, and my best comes up in race 5, number 5 for Jita San.
Beautiful. What have you got for us up north?
Up north.
Where
Go
are we
one
even
cheese
up
on
north?
up north,
Oh, good.
which is good. It's very short, but be keen to watch it run again. Probably won't have a bet, but keen to watch it go around.
Mm-hmm.
My best bet's Up and Doom and come up later in the day. Race 7, number 2, Night Mariner. Race 8, number 12, Rubamos. And to finish the day, I'm going to have in my value bet up there is race 9, number 17, Bundy and Coke.
Lovely. Be a good time for a Bundy and Coke around that time, Beaver. Good stuff. Good job again. And good punting this week. And punters, as I've said, check out progroupracing.com.au. Group 1 racing is here. Very excited. Bet smart. And we will talk soon. Take care, guys.